It's great to be here. Normally, I don't go out much and not much of a public speaker, except for unless or until it's very technical seminars or conferences and other things. This is the first time coming out with persuasion from Mukund and Suri. So kindly excuse me if I make any folly in my processes. So, okay, I'll get down to what I started out, not a story about myself, which can be very boring. So, I'll just give a basic gist of my career over a period of time, and then I would prefer more of an interactive session rather than a monologue from me. So, I don't want to give any gyan. So, it can be direct, hard-hitting question or answers. Okay, as Mukund told, I was a sprinter earlier in my school days. It shortened my career because of my hamstring injury, and then once you are injured in India, I think God help you. As simple as that. And in those days, it was even worse. Okay, nevertheless, I pursued other profession and then finally landed up in this profession. Just like that, I didn't plan anything. I didn't plan that I wanted to become a strength and conditioning person for India and other things. No strategic plannings and other things. It just happened that way. I was lucky to pursue this career and then progressed over a period of time. My first major assignment, I started off with Ramesh Krishnan Tennis Academy, Krishnan Tennis Center, way back in 94, 95. Then progressed from there to Pace Foundation, and they had the confidence in me to send me to Australia and get the things organized accordingly. Then National Cricket Academy, state teams, etc., zone, progressed from tennis to cricket, and then progressed from cricket to motor racing. So got involved with Narayan Karthikeyan and Arman Ibrahim, Karun Chandok and others. So became the first strength and conditioning person from India to represent motor racing in A1GP. It was a World Cup of motor racing. So had the honor of representing our country, and till 2009 when the race was called off because of lack of funds. But luckily got into Indian side immediately. So it was the first Indian to be incorporated into BCCI and Indian team again. Usually it's done only by the foreigners, either from Australia or South Africa, because for varied reasons. Then it progressed. We won the World Cup. We were #1 team in Test, we were #1 team in one-day internationals and T20s, and then finally, before I had taken a sabbatical, we won the Champions Trophy after, I think for the first time, I suppose. Yeah, for the first time in 2013 in England. Yeah, that was the journey. Then currently I'm with, we have our center. I don't want to go too much into our center, then it becomes like a self-publicity, which we don't want to do. So now we have a high-performance center specifically targeting the upcoming sports personalities and professionals, hardcore professionals. We have quite a few. We are pretty happy in that, and we are in a happy space. Apart from that, currently I am with Narayan again as a special invitee for a super formula racing based in Japan. It's only through invitation people go. So to be honored, be a part of the entire racing sequences. So that's putting it in a nutshell. And what else you would like? I would prefer more interactive.
What do you think are the factors why New Zealand cricketers always tend to get injured?
It's New Zealand.
Yeah, I have seen a lot of their cricketers who suffer injuries and then give up cricket also.
No, New Zealand, I wouldn't say that, because cricket, even Australians are quite injury prone. Indians, as you know very well, are quite injury prone. Injuries are part and parcel of any sport for that matter. Whether it's cricket or carom or chess or anything like that, it's a part and parcel of any sportsman's career. New Zealand I don't have any data regarding the New Zealand people getting injured very often, because you see South Africans, tail tennis, especially the current series, you have people getting injured, fast bowlers getting injured. Especially fast bowlers may get injured pretty often because of loads of various reasons. It's a technical issue, it's a physical issue, it's a biomechanical issue, it's a physiological issue, and it's also sometimes can be a medical issues. So, in cricket, as far as cricket is concerned, mostly it's fast bowlers those who get injured, because the movement itself is very unnatural for a human body. How your body is supposed to move. This is not the natural way your body is supposed to move. So all the varied angles, cutting varied angles, and hip and shoulder, I don't want to get into again technical thing, shoulder separation. These sort of angles can completely ruin your back or your groin or your hip flexor areas or your shoulders. So one of the reasons may be for Australians and South Africans and New Zealand guys getting injured often, as we see, possibilities are lack of flexibility. One of the reasons. They are very strong naturally, the Caucasians are very strong. Strength-wise, they are far ahead of us. They don't have that level of flexibility to compensate the movements. So there is too much overload on the muscles. So that can be one of the reasons. That's why they are taking up yoga in a big way, and they found a huge difference. Massive difference they found.
There's more number of sports played in the shorter period.
Yeah, currently, recently, because again, because of this IPL coming and a lot of T20s, the formats have changed over a period of time. So they don't have rest and recovery protocols set and right, because you cannot set a rest and recovery protocol for the team. That is as important as training. So problem is, as you correctly mentioned, lack of recovery and too many games and too many different formats in short period of time. Because everything is dependent on vitamin M now. Marketing, money. So they feel the career is short, so make hay while sunshine. That can be detrimental on a long run, for any sport for that matter. So now we are, as far as our cricketers are concerned, we have a good level of flexibility because our lifestyles are different and quite okay so far. Maybe I don't know about the future cricketers. Things have changed over a period of time, what I've seen. Strength-wise, we are far below them in comparison, far below them in comparison. So rest being equal, again it depends on a lot of variables. We have quite a lot of variables. So like genetic loading, you have your food habits, you have your facilities available, you have access, you have your mindset, you have your basic physiology and food. There are a lot of things which have greater impact on individuals' performance over a period of time.
Does non-vegetarian food provide the killer instinct that vegetarian food doesn't?
I don't think so, sir. I think there are people, those who are vegetarians, are hardcore killer instincts than the non-vegetarians. I don't know, maybe I'm not an expert on dwelling too much on the nutrition aspect of it, because that's not my domain. I don't want to give wrong information, tomorrow you'll hammer me. So I haven't heard that part of it. Basically, you see the Caucasians are mostly the warrior tribes, basically. Survival of the fittest. And for, you take the Indian subcontinent, so you take the history. From north of India to south of India, we have a huge mindset variation and physiological difference. Why is it so?
Fighting mode.
Fighting mode.
See, Tendulkar played for more than 2 decades at highest level. What was he doing right that could keep him at that level?
He was with Ramji.
Because nowadays you see, sportsmen 5 years, 8 years max, they are out.
Yeah, there are few, he is an exception, it's not a rule.
There is something he's doing right.
Yeah, he did things very right.
Networking.
No, plus, I think he entered the sport at the very young age.
Definitely.
Let him give another.
He is...
He was not even 17 when he entered.
True. But a lot of people, we have quite a lot of guys, those who are 17, 16, prodigies, burnt out. Yeah, there are a lot of variables. You need a good mindset. You need a good discipline. You need to follow things smartly rather than hard. You need to work smart rather than hard beyond certain age. At 40 or 30, in mid-30s, you cannot expect him to do something like Virat Kohli who's in 20s. So he needs to train smart. He trains smart, taking his age into consideration, rather than training too hard. So when you start training too hard, and mind is willing, sometimes body is not willing. We all know the fact. So sometimes you need to train smart to be there and what your goals are and in a progression.
Nobody talks about Dravid. Dravid is a guy who has done better than Tendulkar. Probably one or two runs on an average.
He is
How
seriously.
is it that, Dravid was able to do?
No, unfortunately, he is in the same era of Tendulkar.
But the guys who have watched the game would realize that Dravid has won more series for India than anybody else.
Unbelievable, sir. He is a man of terrific discipline. I think he came to me in 95 to 98. He was there in Brentford. Yes, he was playing for India Simmons. Every summer he used to come here and train. After the match and everything, he used to come there. V.V.S. Lakshman, Rahul Dravid, unbelievable discipline, focus. He used to bat in the nets for 3-4 hours at one shot. Unbelievable, unbelievable. See, those are the things which pay off over a period of time. When you put yourself in a hard grind, so definitely it pays off. And you need to have goal. There is no goal and doing hard work, it's not going to help. Anyway, and all of you are very successful business people and entrepreneurs or professionals, you know about it. But from a sports angle, you need to have short-term, mid-term and long-term goals and work towards it.
I think you said it right, Ranji, when you mentioned the word focus. Because, during our school days, we still remember, we used to win championships and all those kind of stuff. But the emphasis on focus was not there. The emphasis on physical fitness per se was not there.
Absolutely.
How do you think physical fitness has evolved over these so many years? You have been a top-notch sprinter those days, and you were focused. You were with us in all the nonsense that we did, but yet you were focused. You were winning all the medals. How did you manage it, and how do you think it has evolved over a period?
No, maybe I was a bit lucky in those things. But we used to train hard, of course. Focus, it was very sporadic. To be honest, to be really honest, the focus was very sporadic. It was not a long-term focus. Okay, focus to win, to attract girls, to impress somebody. All those things are there when you are growing up also.
In that age, everybody is like that.
Exactly.
This focus is there at that point of time.
Surya was focused on.
Yeah,
So you were good able to it.
Surya was very focused.
I think you should play to win.
Tapping market.
I've seen many sports day speeches, the chief guest will say this, the standard line, it is not the winning, it is the
Absolutely,
taking
that
part.
has been a terrible thing for any chief guest to say.
Yeah.
Winning is not important, participating. We keep participating still in Olympics. And that also has been slowly getting diluted. Very few participants are going.
Coming to
Terrible,
Olympics.
and we are-
But again,
The
those
Chinese were
days,
nowhere in swimming. Now the Chinese are
You
dominating
should see,
swimming.
sir, the way they train, it's a long-term plan. We don't have plan. India has a problem, major problem is we have logic for everything. That's why we are very good in software.
India, as soon as we get a job, we do
Sir,
sports.
what's the right age should someone get into the proper fitness regime?
having a son.
Actually.
So age is not a bar, sir. Age is no bar. Just be a
See,
youngster.
when I talk to some trainers, they say, okay, at least until 14, he should play on his own, he should enjoy the game, rather you put him to a proper gym or so where he can...
No. I'm sorry to, I don't agree on those parameters. We have, in our center, we have boys, those who are 10 and 11. So, problem is, in our country, fitness means only weights training. It's not true. Especially for the kids, those who are playing to sport, it's a multi-prolonged activity. Lot of things, lot of parameters of fitness have to be filled in. Body weight is there is no scientific validation. Ask anybody to prove. If you lift weights when you are 14, you will grow shorter.
Correct.
Then I will be like 2 feet above the ground. I am not that time Amitabh Bachchan, at least I am decent height. So we started doing weights when we were 14 and 15. So we didn't have access to it. Whatever we could grab, either dumbbells or 2 barbells or whatever it is. No, there is no scientific validation. One of the things they may say is the growth plate may shrink, but still nobody has proven. There are people those who are doing not heavy weights, their body weight, or using the external like tubing and other things, they can do.
So always younger, the better, right? To start
Because absorption capacity is better and the focus, ability to focus is
But
grasping
having
powers.
said that, younger is better. But when we go to schools, even when we go to Ashan Memorial, sorry Shamlaji, when we go to Ashan Memorial, even now, we hardly see kids play. I mean, when we say that fitness is starting
They are
at a
all
low
here,
level.
no? Here. It's only fingers.
Yeah, so when I ask the question, how has fitness evolved over a period of time? Now I see that fitness is not happening at a school level. Fitness is happening after school level.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very true. Because, see, there are so many factors into consideration nowadays. Lifestyles have changed. We didn't have entertainment. We had to go out and play. That is the only source of entertainment. When you go out and play, you fall down, then your immune system is developed. Those are the things. Go out in the rain and play. Now you go out in the rain.
What are the repercussions?
Repercussions are going to be huge over a period of time. Repercussions are going to, because food habits have changed, kids have become sedentary. We take the wrong end of the westernization. We don't take what is their perseverance, their willpower, their determination. We don't take those things. We take the end product and try to emulate them. What is the process and protocols which goes into that? We don't take it up. Directly, as I was talking to Bhargav, it's all a lift off from YouTube and Google and other things, and everybody's sauntering things out. It can be potentially dangerous. As I'm talking to you, especially the fitness industry. It's brilliant, it has grown to a deadly level because you can have access, somebody is telling you the truth or not. But everybody is not an expert on fitness. Like how you get conned by a doctor or a Swamiji or X, Y, and Z. There are a lot of quacks here in this field. Make quick buck, telling you, selling you supplements. There was a recently last year or something in Mumbai, they seized supplements worth 50 crores in Mumbai port. You know why? That was, all the products were expired in US and they were sent to India. They relabel, retype and relabel and sell it to our people. 50 crores. We are buying those things. Muscle building, all these whey proteins, aminos and etc. etc. So that's a big business here in India, it's happening. So it can, see, these are the things nobody knows. How many people know? You have to be very, very prudent in consulting a good SNC or a fitness consultant who doesn't give you jargon. Jargon is very easy to impress people. When you scratch the surface, sorry, it cannot happen. So to make things very simple, he has to, a person, Roger Federer makes tennis look very simple. It is not simple. So complicated. So to make it look simple, the person has to have solid knowledge. For example, if you go to a doctor and he shoots some bombastic language, we'll think it's very impressive, but it will be a small Saradon or something he'll be giving us. That happens. That has happened to me personally.
You are very selective in who you choose to join the institute.
Yeah.
Little bit about that.
Oh yeah, we have a high performance which I wanted to start along with a good friend of mine called Badri, who is a mental conditioning coach based out of US for American Tennis Association. He is the MC for Kei Nishikori, Stan Wawrinka, Andy Murray, and a couple of others. He's the first Indian to be there. He is in top 25 in the world as one of the best MCs. So we started discussing, actually before Badri, Suri and me were discussing about this project way back and he came up with the thing. Then it became, I didn't have time, I was traveling with the team. So then Badri and me, Suri, we three discussed and we wanted to start off something for sports people. Basically, there is nothing available in the country, sir, for specialized sports training thing. Only national institutes are there. National Institute of Sports, etc., etc., couple of other things. Better not to go there rather than, frankly, today I can go on record on this. So we have seen a numerous number of athletes getting injured or getting doped out and getting disqualified. So we still follow the Russian method and the Bulgarian method, which they abandoned long back. We are still following it. So be that as it may. So then we started out this. We are just in a very neonatal stage. Both are not business people. We are professionals, slowly learning the tricks. Not that to make multi-million dollars or anything like that. Do something whatever we can do for our country. We want to walk the talk rather than this criticizing the systems and I think we have excellent athletes here. Problem is nowhere to go and we are trying to bridge the gap between what is available in US in a high-end performance center and India. So one of the things what the athletes get is disillusion is they get enamored by or stuck by the facilities available in US or Australia or anywhere. So to our limitation, to our thing, we are trying to bridge the gap so that whatever equipment, specialty equipments are there, we have got it also. But it's a very limited amount of people only we can take because the quality will suffer end of the day. So we are in a very good space. I've seen some phenomenal results in racing and table tennis and a couple of cricketers coming in. And we have a very strict NDA, non-disclosure agreement, which we should not disclose the names or what they are doing because we have a couple of big guys coming in there. Quietly they come and do it and go. So we're not supposed to go.
Can you describe what exactly is the regimen there? What is your routine?
Okay, basically we start screening from physiological screening to fitness testing screening. Then it is totally individualized according to a skill, according to a person, according to specific skills, both in mind and body. So loads of parameters are addressed in specificity, giving a short-term, mid-term and long-term goals so that the goals are reached. You know, there is no point just keep on training without any goal or any result. No point, you will be a fit athlete, but there is no result. What's the point? End of that thing, they have to see result. So there are a lot of introduction to new methodologies of training, especially a lot of software involved. And we have a tracking system. We have a nutrition aspect of it also because I'm not qualified nutritionist, so I cannot talk much about it. We have a person, we have a qualified physio. So everybody does their job to get harness the maximum out of an individual, whether it's a boy or a girl. So it is very specialized. We are all like thumb impression. Even in the general fitness industry, this gangbang theory may not work. End of the day, we are all like thumb impression. You should have your individualized schedules. Even if you do a group session, you should be able to get your individualized schedules. Otherwise, one man's food is another man's poison. I have seen a couple of people collapse on the treadmill and die. My own eyes I have seen. That is potentially dangerous. Somebody is running next to you, you wanted to compete with them. Within 2 minutes he is out, gone. 2 minutes, exactly 2 minutes. By the time, because I didn't, you are in a shock. Everybody will be in a shock to see you. No, nobody will react immediately. So by the time they came in, he is out. Yes, I'm very sorry to see the person kick the bucket there. You know, it can be potentially dangerous, especially, and it has happened to us a couple of times, especially trying to lift too much of weights in wrong angle. You can tear a muscle or dislocate your shoulders, you had it, or your lower back, you had it. So you have to be very smart and drawing up an entire, that it is all up to the trainers. The latest trend, what we are picking up from US or Australia or UK, it is good. Unless and until it is individualized, you cannot have the desired effect for a long term. It's like there are advertisements and they lose 30 kilos in 2 days or whatever, I'm exaggerating. 10 kilos in one month, you would all be multi-millionaires by now. You know, that's a scam, total scam.
Raji, you have played on the IPL.
Exactly, I'm also waiting
Some
for
stories
IPL.
about it.
IPL,
I just wanted to juicy stories.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes,
what is
yes,
this?
yes.
Exactly. You want to tell Mike? We love Mike.
Most of the stories we know, you are going to just bet it.
then no, it's a bit embarrassing though. I don't know what to say.
We will switch off the video, don't worry.
Not that. Yeah, I was at Mumbai Indians for nearly